Farmers to vote for the ANC. The ANC leader took his campaign to Tabanchu. President Zuma urged farmers to give their workers time off so they can exercise their right to vote in the next week's municipal elections. He also welcomed members who defected from the DA and the EFF. Let's now cross to Peter Ndoro, who's at our Ellis Park Stadium for the latest on developments. A little bit earlier, he had a chat to Fikile Mbulula and Mvula Mokonyane. Peter, good morning. How are you doing?
A very good morning to you, Sam, and welcome. Yeah, we're in Ellis Park, and as you've been seeing and hearing, this is the venue for the Siyanqoba Rally, the last one and the last opportunity that the party has in a grand scale to appeal to their supporters and to perhaps those that are not yet decided who they're going to vote for, to sway them in their camp. Now, over the months, you've been hearing all sorts of researchers that have been coming out saying that these metros are closely contested and perhaps the ANC is not doing as well as it's done in the past. Well, one man who's been monitoring this is the head of research, election research, and you'll know him as the Minister of Home Affairs, Malusi Gigaba, and he joins us now. Thank you very much for joining us. So we're a few days away now. It's been months of trying to convince people to vote for your party, but throughout what we've been seeing is a lot of researching that's been coming out. Your job as head of research for the ANC is, I guess, to try and find out if those figures are true and also what your figures are saying. Tell us about your journey in terms of figuring out just exactly where the voters are standing at the moment.
Well, the ANC conducts its own internal research, but at the same time we procure research from some of these research institutions so that we can analyze it for ourselves. So some of the things which they already were coming out of your Ipsos and Makino are issues which had already come out of the ANC internal research in terms of the mood of the country, the sentiment of the public, and what are the issues that people are raising as their priorities. And when we do that research, we're not trying to manipulate the figures and get the most accurate figures. We're doing it in order to be able to gauge the public sentiment, to try and find out what are the issues people are raising as their priority, and then to determine how our campaign should be structured, what messaging must come out, and what are the issues that we need to campaign on, and what areas we need to be focusing on. Clearly, the issues of the metros, your Nelson Mandela, Tshwane, Joburg, were being raised by the ANC research. The public sentiment, a negative public sentiment as a result of the constraints in the economy at the present moment. People are feeling the constrained economic situation. Even government, which is one of the largest employers in the country, has had to freeze jobs because the fiscal situation is quite tight. That has an impact on young people coming out of universities who are looking for internship and employment opportunities at entry-level positions in government. People are no longer asking questions about the quantity of the services they are receiving. They are now asking questions about the quality. So what we have been saying is a progress in the attitude of the voter and the issues that they are raising. So what the ANC as the governing party now has to do is to direct its campaign to respond to issues of quality in the services, but to also begin to ask difficult questions about the capacity, the competences and the qualities of the people who are being deployed as public representatives. Because people no longer want somebody who is popular in a community. They also want somebody who can deliver the job, who can do the job right at a municipal level, at provincial and national government levels. And these are the issues that we've been looking at, trying to decipher the messages that we need to send out as we embark on our campaign.
All right, so you've been talking about deciphering the message and the mood, but what about the numbers? Because, people are saying, hang on, if we go back 94 and start tracking the numbers at the polls, it looks as if that people are starting to move away, so that your numbers are dropping off. Are you confident that you're going to do well enough to be in control, or are we heading into that area now where for the first time you'll be hitting below 50 in some areas?
No. You must remember that when you do research, you must first consider the context. As I say, the context is difficult for everybody. The economy is biting. Unemployment is biting. Secondly, the research is not static. When you gauge research 6 months before an election or a few months before the election campaign starts, and you gauge it after the election campaign has started and we've been engaging with the people, the ANC, with the vast machinery that we command, that exists in every community, reaches out to every person, is able to engage with those issues in a more direct manner, engage with the voters directly, address the issues which they are raising, such that when the election actually takes place, it becomes the actual polling of the people of South Africa. And so we are confident that you're not going to have hung parliaments. The ANC is going to win these metros. We're going to retain our majorities in the metros, because the election research, the gauge of the public sentiment is not, there is no correlation between public sentiment and who the people are going to vote for. When people say, I am concerned and angry about this, it doesn't mean they are not going to vote for the ANC. It just simply raises issues which they are concerned about.
All right, Minister, we're going to have to leave it there, but thank you very much indeed for giving us that insight, and we wish you the best of luck. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right, okay, so that's where we're going to have to leave it for the time being. We'll continue to give you more coverage ahead of the big speeches here at Ellis Park, but in the meantime, let's go back to studio.
Thank you, Peter. Peter Ndoro doing the job for us in Ellis Park. Let's now cross to Eldrin Sam.